Today's video is all about new. We're gonna check out the newest attraction here at Epcot, Journey of Water, inspired by Moana. We're also gonna talk about all the latest news that came out of Destination D23. That is a big Disney fan event, and they announced a lot of new things that are coming to Walt Disney World. We got a lot to cover, so let's get going. Hi-ho everybody, this is Rob with Ear Scouts. We just got back from a whirlwind trip. We went to Disneyland Paris, and right when we got back, it was time to go to Destination D23, which is one of the biggest fan events that happens here at Walt Disney World. We've got a ton of videos that are about to come your way as soon as I find time to edit them. We've been so busy, but we're gonna have grand tours of Walt Disney Studios and Disneyland Paris. We've got an updated Genie Plus tips video for right here at Epcot, and we've got our first ever Walt Disney World Resort Showdown, where we're gonna pick the best of the best value resorts. If you wanna see all those videos, make sure you're subscribed to our channel and ring that bell, and that way you're gonna be notified whenever they come out. First though, let's get to the news, and there is a lot of it. As of right now, you can officially meet Figment here at Epcot. He's over at the Imagination Pavilion, appropriately enough, right next to his ride. Next door at the Land Pavilion, we're gonna get a special overlay at Soarin' Around the World. It's gonna become, for a limited time, Soarin' over California. This is the version of the attraction that debuted when Soarin' opened in California Adventure in Anaheim. If you want to check that out, that overlay begins September 22nd, but it is for a limited time only. Our next big announcement is regarding Journey of Water, the attraction we're about to show you. That one is going to officially open for the public on October 16th. If you're really excited about that attraction, and you should be, mark that date on your calendar now. They're also going to be adding a permanent Moana meet and greet near the attraction. So currently she's meeting folks over at Animal Kingdom, but that's going to appropriately move over here to her attraction after it opens on the 16th. Staying with Epcot, we also learned that all the walls around this park are finally coming down in December. That's when they're gonna open up World Celebration in its entirety. We don't have a specific date in December when those walls are coming down, but we're hoping it's gonna be for the opening of the brand new Nighttime Spectacular on December 5th, Luminous, the Symphony of Us. It's going to feature fireworks and lasers and music and fountains. Fingers crossed that that's going to be all the things we loved about Harmonious without those giant barges clogging up the World Showcase Lagoon all day. Again, that one opens December the 5th, so if you want to see that one, make sure your trip falls after that date. Looking further out into the future of Epcot, we learned that the Imagineers are working right now alongside Chevrolet to completely reimagine Test Track. They're actually going to bring it back to its roots. If you look at the image that they showed us, you can see a completely different ride vehicle and a lot more vegetation that is currently in Test Track. I think this one's going to involve animatronics and more of an educational component that teaches us about the history and future of transportation. I talked to some of the cast members here, and they think they're probably still going to have a little bit of a thrill at the end, but this one is definitely going to be more like that original Omni-Mover attraction that you may remember from your childhood. Moving next door to Hollywood Studios, we learned that starting in 2024, there will be brand new scenes at Star Tours featuring the worlds of Ahsoka. They're also going to be bringing these new scenes to Disneyland and Disneyland Paris. Lots of huge news announced for Animal Kingdom, and some of this news actually contradicts some things that were announced before. Unfortunately, one thing that has not changed is we are still going to see the extinction of Dinoland USA, but before they were talking about replacing that attraction with a land related to Zootopia and or Moana, but the new plan is to focus on tropical Americas. Essentially, this is going to be that area near the equator in Central and South America where you find tropics and rainforests. While Disney didn't specifically say there are going to be new animal attractions, they talked about biodiversity in this area, which makes me think some new animals are indeed planned. What they did talk about specifically were attractions related to Encanto and Indiana Jones. My guess is they're going to use Dinosaur to turn that into an Indiana Jones attraction. In case you're not aware, over at Disneyland, their Indiana Jones ride actually uses the same track system as Dinosaur, so that would probably be a pretty easy port over for them. The other attraction they mentioned was themed to Encanto, and it seems like it's going to be related to the Casita. We will find out what their plan plans are for that in the future. Fans of Zootopia, if you were sad to hear that you weren't getting a Zootopia land, we do have a consolation prize for you. The show Under the Tree of Life is changing from A Bug's Life to be a new Zootopia themed show. That, of course, means the end of the show that terrified countless children and arachnophobic adults. Gonna be sad to see it go, but we're also really excited for this new show that's gonna feature Judy Hopps and her friends taking you on a tour of the different biomes featured in Zootopia. Last but certainly not least, we are heading to the biggest news of all at Magic Kingdom. Still no opening date for Tiana's Bayou Adventure, but we do now know when the Hatbox Ghost is expected to materialize at the Haunted Mansion. No hard date, you can't really pin down a ghost, I guess, on a specific date, but we're expecting to see him sometime in late November. Down the road from the Haunted Mansion at Grizzly Hall, we're gonna get a brand new show featuring the Country Bears. All of our favorite Country Bears are still gonna be there. It's just gonna be all new music. We did get a little taste of the music, which you can hear over on our Instagram channel, but it sounds like it's gonna be country fried versions of classic Disney songs. The little taste that we got was a country version of Bare Necessities. This is one that I'm actually really excited about. While I do love the attraction as it is now, it's definitely getting up there in years, and the crowds that come to see it are getting smaller and smaller. So I am excited to see the Imagineers breathing new life into this and hopefully giving it some legs so it'll be there for years and years to come. This one is scheduled to open sometime in 2024, no hard date, but sometime next year, we're gonna get a brand new Country Bears show. We're also gonna see a brand new Adventureland dining spot themed to Pirates of the Caribbean. The Barker Bird is back. For those who don't remember, before they added Jack Sparrow to Pirates of the Caribbean, there used to be a green macaw known as Pegleg Pete to some, or the Barker Bird. He is now going to be the host at a restaurant slash saloon tavern kind of thing that's going to be over there near Pirates of the Caribbean. Most importantly, it's going to put the R in restaurant. That was so terrible. Isn't that terrible? I apologize for that joke. Let's get on with the news because we are finishing up with the biggest story of them all, and that is that Disney is confirming that something big is on the horizon beyond Big Thunder Mountain. Now, they're being pretty vague. They haven't told us what's coming, but previously Disney had said that there would be new lands themed to Coco, Encanto, and Villains. We now know that Encanto's moving over to Animal Kingdom, so my guess is we're not going to see Encanto. There was, however, a huge response when Disney mentioned the possibility of a Villains land. So if you're a betting man, I would say you probably want to put your money on Villains showing up beyond Big Thunder. For me, though, I really hope that the Coco land comes to fruition. Coco is my favorite Pixar movie, and I was so excited when they announced that. So fingers crossed that Coco is still in the works. What they did say, however, this is going to be the largest expansion ever in the history of Magic Kingdom. So bigger than New Fantasyland, this is going to be a very big deal, which says to me it might be more than one land. So fingers crossed we're gonna see Villains and Coco. Well, that's all the news we got to cover from Destination D23. Now it's time to go have some fun. Let's go check out the newest attraction coming to this park, Journey of Water, inspired by Moana. While this attraction is obviously inspired by the film Moana, it's right there in the title, it really is in keeping with the original educational attractions that were featured here at Epcot. This one's gonna teach you about the life cycle of water, how it connects us all, and things that we should be thinking about to conserve this very important resource. Let's go check it out. The very first thing you see when you come in is this amazing rock structure with the Heart of Te symbol. And there's this water vapor that's coming off of it that is lovely and kind of cooling. So there's a nice breeze coming through here, and that water vapor just cools you off and feels great when you're here on a super hot Florida day like today. Our first stop on the tour is gonna be rain, and thankfully it is not raining on you. Well, it will be if you're here during one of the many Orlando thunderstorms, but the attraction is not raining on you. I should mention, as we get further into this attraction, there are going to be areas where you can get wet if you choose to, but there's always a dry path available. Around the corner, you'll see that rain is represented by strings of water that you can play like a musical instrument. If you're a musician, you're gonna really love actually making music with this thing, because you really can. Each of the strings of water plays its own note. It's kind of like the rainfall version of a harp. From rain, the life cycle of water continues its journey along the stream. In this section, you can actually interact with the water by waving to it. Let's go check it out. All right, here we go. After the playful stream, we come to the wetlands, and we also come to our very first fork in the road. This is where we're gonna choose if we wanna take the dry path or the wet path. But don't worry, you're actually not gonna get too wet this early in the attraction. Here in the wetlands, you're just gonna basically walk through a little area where the ground is a little bit wet. As you get further into the attraction, you're definitely gonna find some places where water is splashing all around, and there's some real opportunities to get actually wet. One thing the Imagineers always love to do is to put some tracks on the ground. In this attraction, you might wanna follow those tracks. You never know who you're gonna find. Next stop is gonna be the spring, and sadly this one is not working today. I'm really bummed because this is one of the cooler ones, but thankfully I was here the other night for the D23 preview, so I was able to film some of it then. So we'll throw that footage in right now so you can see what's supposed to be happening here in this spring area. Our next stop is the land, and more specifically, how the land is shaped by water. There's a really gorgeous rock formation here, and this is gonna be another one of those places where there's gonna be a dry path, but I definitely don't recommend taking the dry path because, as you're gonna see, the wet path is so much cooler. I don't know how much you can tell from the lighting in the video, but basically there's this stream of water coming down, and as you move through it, it somehow senses that you're there, and the water stops exactly where you are, but continues all around you. From land, we move into lake, and here's where you're gonna find that iconic image you've been waiting for. All around the attraction, you see the water dancing around playfully, but here at the lake, we see Te Fiti herself magically bringing the water to life. From the lake, the journey continues to the river. Here you'll see the water playfully skipping down the river on its way to the next stop in our adventure. Our next and final stop is the ocean, and unsurprisingly, this is where you can get pretty soaking wet if you want to. So right when you arrive, you can kind of go to what I would consider to be the beach area of the ocean. It's actually a little splash pad area where kids and adults can get completely soaking wet. I'm not gonna film it for you right now because there's a bunch of little kids over there, so I don't wanna film that area, but it's a pretty typical splash pad, but it is really beautifully themed. On the other side is the ocean proper. Now, just getting over there, if you take the wet path, there is water spraying every which way. There's a good chance you're gonna get soaked. But once you make it through that, then comes the most epic of all of the interactive water features. And on this one, you're gonna kind of wanna work as a team. The idea is you raise your hands to call a wave. And the more people who raise their hands together, the bigger the wave will be. This one can get pretty epic. Let's go check it out. Last but certainly not least, we're going to stomp on the ground and send the water back up into the sky. Well, I said that ocean was the last stop, but that's not technically true because the last stop is bringing the cycle back to the beginning. we are headed to Sky. And this is where we can see all that water that we sent back up into the sky become vapor and clouds. And that's gonna begin the cycle again as rain. In case you can't tell, I love this new attraction, and it is perfect as the new heart of world nature. I hope you guys are as excited as I am about all these huge changes coming to Walt Disney World. Let us know in the comments down below, what are you most excited about? What are you maybe the most nervous about? And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe to our channel, and ring that bell. That way you're gonna be notified whenever new videos like this come out. Until next time, don't forget to think happy thoughts, everybody. We'll see you again real soon.